Hey everyone, Soberoni of G&A Reviews here with the Fate Granddaughter 2017 Christmas Event Guide for North America. Just like with the Gouda Gouda event, I'm going to put timestamps in the description box so that you guys can skip around to different parts of the video depending on what section you want to see, whether that be strategies for the main quest or how to farm the event, because this is going to be a pretty in-depth guide. So let's just kick it off and take a look at the new servants and the pickup servants in this gacha. Okay, so we're getting a few new servants for this event, 3 new servants to be exact, and let's start off with the welfare servant for the event, Arturia Pendragon Santa Altar. Santa Altar is a rider with a max attack of 9,258 and a max HP of 11,286. She's very similar to her Saber Altar counterpart, and she is a very good welfare servant. I have a full video going into massive details on how to use her, what craft essences work on her, what teams to put her on, and all of that. I'll link that in the description below, so be sure to check out that Santa Altar Spotlight right after this. The next servant that we're getting is the semi-limited Jack the Ripper, a 5-star assassin with a max attack of 11,557 and a max HP of 12,696. I also have a spotlight up on Jack, so you can check that out after this video. I'll link it in the description as well, and of course I go into much more detail about her, but suffice it to say, Jack is an amazing servant, one of the best assassins in the game, and if you are rolling for her, she is definitely worth it if you get her. And don't worry if you don't manage to roll Jack, because even though she's listed as a limited servant, she will be available once London hits, which should be later on this month. So you will always have a chance to roll her when she becomes permanent in the gacha. The next new servant we're getting is Nursery Rhyme. Nursery Rhyme is a 4-star caster with 8,629 max attack and a max HP of 11,882. And just like with the previous two, I have a spotlight on Nursery Rhyme, which will be linked in the description below, so also do please check that out. But Nursery Rhyme is a very special crit-based caster, and she makes for a pretty decent offensive caster. Now moving on to the servants who are not new but are on the rate up, the first of which is Marie Antoinette. She's a 4-star rider with 8,293 attack and 12,348 max HP. Marie's a very underrated rider that excels at being tanky, so if you are lacking a very good tank on your team, it is worth rolling for her. And she also functions as a good farming servant. I'll also link the spotlight on her in the description. And moving on, the next servant on rate up is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is a 3-star archer with 6,715 attack and 10,187 HP. Robin is one of the best 3-star servants in the game. I covered him in my free-to-play guide on the best 3-star and lower servants. If you don't already have him, now is the perfect time to roll for him and get him to Noble Phantasm 5. And finally, we have Jing K, the 3-star assassin with a max attack of 7,207 and a max HP of 8,293. Jing K is a pretty good 3-star servant. She especially excels at killing riders, so if you don't have her, now is a good time to roll for her and get her to Noble Phantasm 5, because her, along with Kojiro, will be lifesavers when you're farming the rider daily quest. And those are all the new servants we're getting for this event. Now let's take a look at the event shop itself. So just like with the Gouda Gouda event, there are going to be multiple currencies to farm. In this case, there are 4 different currencies. The first of which is the special exchange tickets, followed by the mini ribbons, the silver bells, and the gold stars. The gold stars are the hardest to farm, while the mini ribbons are the easiest, and the silver bells are in between. And the special exchange tickets are kind of not really farmable so much as they are special rewards for accomplishing certain things. But we'll get into that later. For now, let's look at what we can exchange them for in the shop itself. When it comes to the mini ribbons, you can exchange 150 ribbons for the Holy Night Sign craft essence, and you can do that 1 time. You can also exchange 100 mini ribbons for a chicken bucket 1 time, and this chicken bucket is the ascension item that Saber Altar needs to level up. Very similar to the golden skulls that Nobu needed and the twinkling candies that Caster Liz needed. So make sure you do buy these out if you're planning to max ascend your Santa Altar. You can also exchange your mini ribbons for 3-star EXP cards at the rate of 5 per card, and you can do that 50 times. As well, you can trade 10 ribbons for a 4-star EXP card, and you can do that 50 times as well. You can trade 20 ribbons for a star foe up to 20 times, and you can trade 20 ribbons for a sun foe up to 20 times. You can also trade 20 ribbons for a seed of Yggdrasil up to 20 times. And finally, you can trade 10 ribbons for a single silver bell, which is not worth it. But moving on to silver bells, you can trade 150 silver bells for another Holy Knight sign one time. You can trade 100 silver bells for one chicken bucket. You can trade 20 silver bells for one serpent jewel up to 20 times. And you can exchange 20 silver bells for an assassin, a caster, and a rider piece 20 times each. And next we have the gold stars. You'll be able to trade 150 gold stars for up to 2 Holy Knight sign craft essences. You'll also be able to trade 100 gold stars for up to 2 chicken buckets. You can trade 40 gold stars for 1 dragon reverse scale up to 10 times. And you can trade 20 gold stars for assassin, caster, and rider monuments, each up to 20 times. And you can trade any extra gold stars you get in for QP at the rate of 1 gold star for 10,000 QP. And the final currency is the special exchange tickets. All you can do with these is trade them in for Santa Altar. So this is going to be how you're going to unlock Santa Altar. You'll exchange 1 special exchange ticket for each copy of Santa Altar, which happens at the end of the event. And in case you're curious about how much you'll need of each item, if you plan on clearing out the shop, you will need 5 special exchange tickets, 2,200 ribbons, 1,850 silver bells, and 2,100 gold stars. And thankfully we're going to get a host of craft essences that'll make farming a lot easier, so let's take a look at those. We'll be getting 4 new craft essences with this event, 3 of which will be available in the gacha, and the last one will be only available in the shop or as a drop from the main and free quest. Starting off with the gacha craft essences first, we have the 3-star Lightning Reindeer craft essence. It increases Buster Card effectiveness by 15% for 3 turns, and it increases the ribbon drop amount by 1. In addition, if you limit break it, it'll increase Buster Card effectiveness by 20% and increase ribbon drops by 2. Now this craft essence is rollable in the Friend Point Gacha, so I do suggest immediately rolling it as soon as the event starts from the Friend Point Gacha. And as far as the craft essence itself, it's actually a pretty decent craft essence to put on a backline berserker, just in case you can't afford a limited 0 or anything like that. This will help keep your team costs down. Next up, the 4-star craft essence is March of the Saints. It'll restore 200 HP per turn and increase your Noble Phantasm gauge by 3% per turn. In addition, it'll also increase Silver Bell drop rates by 1. When you limit break it, you'll restore 300 HP per turn, and you'll increase your Noble Phantasm gauge by 4% per turn. In addition, you'll increase Silver Bell drops by 2. This isn't a bad craft essence either. It's actually really good on any kind of tanky art support, so your Tamamos, or your Jones, or even Nero. It isn't the best option around for them, but again, if you're trying to keep costs down and you want to use a 4-star craft essence instead of a 5-star, this doesn't hurt too bad. It's a pretty decent craft essence. And for the 5-star craft essence, we have Present for My Master, which increases critical star gather rate by 100% and HP recovery amount by 40%. In addition, it'll increase gold star drops by 1, and when you limit break it, it'll increase critical star rate by 200%, HP recovery amount by 50%, and gold star drops by 2. This is a pretty decent craft essence on both Jack and Nursery Rhyme, since they both have heals and depend on getting crit stars. And finally, the shop craft essence is Holy Knight Sign, which increases quick card effectiveness by 8% and crit strength by 15%. It'll also increase additional drop rates of magic stockings by 20%. If it's limit broken, it'll increase quick card effectiveness by 10%, crit strength by 20%, and magic stocking drops by 40%. Now this is another good event craft essence, particularly on quick servants, and I would say it's worth farming for to limit break it. And those are the craft essences we're going to get for this event. So now let's talk about the special lottery system that we're getting with this event. Much like the Guda Guda event had the point ladder, the gimmick for this event is the lottery system, and it's actually a very fun gimmick. So with this system, all you're going to be doing is collecting magic stockings, which is another type of currency that drops from enemies in this event, and you'll use those to roll a sort of mini gacha within the event. And this gacha will shoot out Ascension materials, QP, mana prisms, friend points, experience cards, and skill gems. So it's a very, very quick way of farming a lot of necessary items. for this particular lottery box, each item will cost 2 magic stockings, and there's a total of 500 items. So you'll require 1,000 magic stockings to clear one box. And I say one box because this is repeatable. So for example, let's say a box only has 1,000,000 QP and 50 mana prisms. If you roll the 1,000,000 QP and 50 mana prisms, you can reset the box and it'll restock all those items for you to roll again and again and again without limit, so long as you have enough magic stockings. So you can see the list here of all the things that are going to be in the lottery box. And of course it includes gold apples, silver apples, mana prisms, dragon fangs, all types of skill gems for every class, QP, experience cards, and friend points. In addition, the first 4 lottery boxes contain 1 special exchange ticket each. So this is going to be how you're going to collect the special exchange tickets to trade in for your Saber Santa altar. And the 5th box contains a crystallized lore. So if you want everything from the event, you're going to have to clear the lottery 5 times, aka 5,000 magic stockings at most. I say at most because once you hit the grand prize in each box, aka the special exchange ticket or the crystallized lore, you can reset the box automatically without getting anything in it if you want. Which means if you're super lucky, you can do this extremely fast. But if you do want to get every little thing in all the boxes, which I heavily suggest you do, then it'll cost you 5,000 magic stockings. And if you want to keep going, as there's no limit to the amount of times you can reset the box, you'll see the other half of the chart points out the after all jackpots are attained list. And that's going to be after your first 5 clears of the lottery box, you'll still be able to continue farming QP experience cards, skill gems, dragon fangs, the whole lot. So this is going to be the best scenario for farming everything you would need from mana prisms to QP to skill gems. So now let's move on to the actual main story quest. The story quest, or the main quest for this event, will actually unlock one day at a time, so every day we're going to get a new story quest, and there will be a total of 8 of these quests. Here's a quick chart showing the schedule for when these quests will be released, but essentially just picture every day a new quest will come out. And just a quick overview of these quests. Obviously every day, every new quest is going to get harder, and really it isn't much harder than the Guda Guda or even Halloween events. If you were able to handle those, you should be able to handle this. The only nights in particular that are difficult are the 2 last ones. If you do not have a good archer, you might struggle against a 100,000 HP Julius Caesar, though you should have a Uriel or a Robin Hood or something along those lines to take him out. But the last quest will give some people some issues because, as you can see, it's a 70,000 HP ruler, so unless you have a berserker, you're going to be running into a wall there. I do hope you guys have a leveled berserker like at least Lu Bu, as they're going to be the only ones who are going to be able to deal any serious damage to Joan. In addition, you'll be able to take Santa Altar as your support for all of these main quests, which I suggest you do, because she gives a massive boost to magic stockings, which we'll get into in the farming section of this video. But I do want to point out one big thing. Do not do these main quests until you buy all the Holy Night Sign craft essences from the shop. The reason being, these quests drop a lot of magic stockings, similar to how the daily quest in Guda Guda dropped a lot of Guda points. It does help to have the Holy Night Sign just to maximize the amount of stockings you're going to get from these quests. Now let's move on to the free quest and the farming strategy for this event. So just like with Guda Guda and Halloween, the majority of your farming is going to be done in the free quest. And just like with Guda Guda, I'm going to split the farming into 2 sections. First, we're going to cover how to farm for the shop currencies, aka the ribbons, the bells, and the stars. And then we're going to cover how to farm for stockings. So starting off with the shop currencies, the first thing you want to do is do the 10 AP free quest. That's going to be where you're going to farm enough ribbons, and you're going to keep farming ribbons until you can afford the Holy Night Sign from the shop. You'll purchase that and then immediately jump to the 20 AP and keep farming there until you have enough silver bells to buy a Holy Night Sign. Then you'll jump to the 40 AP and farm enough stars until you can afford a Holy Knight sign or 2 Holy Knight signs. And this is going to be extremely straightforward, not at all complicated like any of the other events. If you want to farm ribbons, the best spot is the 10 AP. If you want to farm bells, the best spot is the 20 AP. If you want to farm stars, the best spot is the 40 AP. That is it. And of course, I encourage you to prioritize whatever it is you personally want to prioritize. So if you want to farm the 40 AP first to get all the stars, then you can do that. Just follow whatever it is. There's not really an efficiency thing here because that's pretty much the only way to farm. 10 AP for ribbons, 20 AP for bells, and 40 AP for stars. I will say that these free quests are a little bit more difficult than the Guda Guda ones, just because there's a diverse mix of servants in each quest, so you have to have strong servants in each class to farm them effectively. Now, a lot of you asked in the last video for Guda Guda, what about the 30 AP? And here too, the 30 AP isn't really worth farming. What the 30 AP is basically just a mixture of everything. It is literally, you can get everything from the 30 AP. You get a few ribbons, a few bells, a few stars, a few stockings, but nowhere near the amount of ribbons, bells, and stars you would get from the 10, 20, and 40. The 30 AP is just not worth farming at all. The only reason you would want to do the 30 AP would be pretty much if you want to farm Ascension materials, because the 30 AP does drop Phoenix Plumes, Yggdrasil Seeds, Meteor Horseshoes, and Octuplet Crystals. If you do want to farm those Ascension materials for whatever reason, then that's going to be the place you're going to farm them, in the 30 AP. Other than that, the shop currencies are going to be obviously 10, 20, and 40. And that's pretty much all there is to it, so now let's take a look at the Stockings. So the Stockings, you're just going to farm from the 50 AP. Again, very straightforward. Now the 50 AP itself though isn't unlocked right away like the other free quests. The 50 AP is locked until you finish the story, which means it's actually not going to be available for the majority of the event. So you should not focus on farming Stockings until you pretty much have everything else taken care of. I believe within the last 3 or 4 days is when the 50 AP becomes available. But once you do get to the 50 AP, you're going to want to farm it non-stop, because again, you can roll the lottery infinitely. So there's no reason to ever stop farming for Stockings. As annoying as that sounds, it's totally worth it. The simple fact is the amount of materials you get for clearing each box in the lottery is worth thousands upon thousands of AP on itself if you were not using the lottery system. So you're just going to want to clear the lottery box as much as possible until you have thousands of mana prisms, hundreds of skill gems for every class, tens of millions of QP, and just keep going and going. And this is going to be the event that just keeps on giving, and it's very fitting for that. So the most efficient way to farm that 50 AP is to, of course, have everyone equipped with a Holy Knight sign craft essence, and then to follow this chart that shows the bonus drop rates. So obviously there are servants this event who have bonus drop rates, just like with Guda Guda. Caesar, Robin Hood, Jinkei, Darius, David, and the Phantom of the Opera will increase magic stocking drops by 1. Marie Antoinette, Martha, and Nursery Rhyme will increase them by 2. Jack the Ripper will increase it by 3. And Santa Altar will increase it by 4. And that's it. It's just super straightforward, guys. Only 5 free quests, so it's nowhere near as complicated as the other events. And that about wraps up this guide, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it does help you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I try to get to all of them as quickly as possible, since this is a time-sensitive event. And if this video did help you, please leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. I do a ton of spotlights, and I do an event guide for every single event, as well as a bunch of other content and Fate Grand Order related things and streams. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to our Discord and following us on Twitter. And until then, guys, good luck in the event, and I'll see you next time. Soberoni out. Later.